So I've been doing this thing called brand therapy with Jay for a couple of months now, right? And all of the feedback that I've gotten from it was, wow, I'm clearer than I've ever been. Now I understand why the customer needs me to curate a character for them. Now I understand why my brand needs to be curated on all aspects of it, not just the clothes. And everyone who does it, they're always like, "Thank you, Dave," because I feel like I wasn't paying attention to it. Like, when I talk about consumers and constantly am, you know, trying to embed it in everyone's head, I'm saying it because after you start doing it and thinking about it and being proactive, you start seeing results. You start seeing engagement. You will eventually start seeing the sales. There's no get rich quick scheme about curating a consumer. There's also not a fucking 3-second tip in order for you to understand how to literally create your consumer, right? So when I'm in brand therapy with these brands and we're going back and forth, there's always every brand owner that I've talked to gets stuck, right? They get stuck because I'm trying to pull their consumer out of them, and most of the time, they don't know them. They made a brand out of nothing. They thought of it as a hobby that they wanted to do, and they're like, hey, that's what I created. People are gonna buy it, they'll buy it, right? It wasn't something that they actually wanted to take serious. And I think in brand therapy, I know for sure when they get into brand therapy, they feel like, oh, now it feels real. Now it feels like I actually have to pay attention. Now it feels like I actually have to go along and understand why this brand needs to be put in this consumer's world. Most people don't get that far. So, I'm going to give you a brief preview of brand therapy and kind of the motions that we go through within it, right? So, this is a pet peeve of mine. I'm not going to lie. This is a huge pet peeve of mine. If your messaging sounds like, my brand is for people who like unique upscale pieces, my brand is for people who want luxury goods, my brand is for people with the intention to thrive. Like, people who answer who is your brand for questions like this, they're always concerning to me because I'm trying to figure out why you're talking at the consumer instead of trying to build them, right? You're talking at them. My brand, this consumer wants luxury products, right? This consumer is for people who want luxury. They want a high quality piece. Their intention is to vibe with my pieces on. How is that going to make someone buy anything? People need an emotion and an intention and an interest to buy things. If that is your messaging and that's what you think your consumer needs from your brand, I need you to step back and understand the problem. There's a reason why people copy whole entire personalities, characters, and traits once they see them. You know a person out there in your life right now who's going to copy literally anything their favorite celebrity or their favorite micro celebrity will do. So, for example, even the family that you're in, right? Even like your family members and the people that you are with every day. Y'all all have identities that kind of flow off of each other, believe it or not. And the one that doesn't have that identity, that's the one that's to the side, and the one that's called the black sheep of the family, because they're not, in the character that all the family members kind of, they all are in a hive being, right? You want that aspect. Just like when you were at Thanksgiving and you didn't want certain people asking you questions because the whole family's going to ask these one questions to this one late 20 year old, early 20-year old. Just like you didn't want that to happen, that's how you have to treat people in your brand. You have to understand how to get them to always ask the same exact questions, always be in the same exact interest field. You have to step back and understand it. Telling somebody that, hey, my consumer is going to want this because it's a luxury piece is not a long term. It's not a long term fucking answer. It's not a long-term answer. This new consumer that we have to deal with, all of us do, they're not really interested in the community aspect. They're interested in playing a character in that community, if that makes sense. They're interested in being somebody else within that community. They don't necessarily want to be themselves in the community. It's a whole different version of them while being there. And if that makes sense to you, that's the shift that you have to do. You have to understand people are not necessarily saying, hey, I want to be a part of this community because it matches me. No, they want to be a part of that community because it matches a side of them that they only feel that is able to come out when they're with that group of people. And they won't show it without being with that group of people. Saying that my consumer wants a brand with upscale pieces, my brand is for people who like and want luxury around them, okay. Saying my brand is for people who have the intent to do great in life, okay. You're not explaining to that consumer that I need you to become this person to even be invited into this fucking brand, right? This messaging affects everything you do. You are yapping at no one. When you talk like that and say this is what the consumer wants, you're talking to no one. They're getting nothing from you, right? People listen when you have control over them. That control comes from understanding why they want your product in the first place. They want your product to become a character. That's why they want your product. And it's based on interest, the things that they're interested in. When you have just like a basketball player, you see a basketball player in school, you know that they are a fucking basketball player because the way they walk, the certain type of clothes they wear, the way they move, it's everything, mannerisms, all these things, you know that's a fucking basketball player. You can tell when somebody's in high school basketball or college basketball, high school football or college football. You can tell it's the way they move, it's the way they look, it's their mannerisms, the way they dress, certain things that they like. It's a character they're playing to be a part of the team. You have to get that in your head. What mannerisms do I need to show this person? How do they move? How do they flow? How do they go about becoming a part of your team with your product on? It's not about creating the best product. It's not about getting the best influencer. It's not about trying to become the next TikTok brand that sells out in 30 seconds. All that shit that you think is going to get you more consumers, right? Those are the top 3 things that people think. If you sell out, more people are going to come to you. If you get an influencer, more people are going to come to you. These things, of course, they may get you some eyes, but are they going to get you eyes that stay with you? No. Long-term eyes come from interest, comes from mannerisms, comes from understanding that person wants to be a part of a community, but it has to be them at a different angle, right? People who go straight to selling the product instead of showing the behind the scenes of why that consumer wants that product are the same people who run ads and the ads get 3 likes of somebody standing somewhere in the middle of the street, standing at a fucking garage parking lot, standing somewhere. Now they may sit on a couch with a couple of more people. Now they may stand outside with a whole bunch of people, you know, like they're in front of a fucking liquor store or something. Now they may stand in front of a cool house. Now they may show a car, right? Why are they interested in your version of the clothes that you're creating? What's behind the clothes? What action, scenarios, interests, mannerism, what's behind it? Once you know, you actually fucking know, then you control the attention. When we do brand therapy with Day, this is a question that I ask a lot. What does your consumer collect? What does your consumer listen to? What are they writing? What are they smelling? What are their I'm asking the brand on these questions. They have no idea how to answer them. You should know. You should know that you have the internet on your fucking lap. Why wouldn't you go squalor it to go find who your actual consumer is, what they're doing, how the fuck they're doing it? Think of all your content like a cologne or perfume ad. They're gonna fit so much fucking story inside of that 30 seconds. It's gonna go by so fast you don't even know what the fuck is going on, but you're gonna love it. You're gonna be like, I don't know what just happened, but you understand the smell of that fucking perfume. You understand where that perfume, where that cologne is going to take you. That's understanding the interest, controlling their attention, controlling the consumer. Just showing off product, you're fueling a side of consumerism that people don't want to be a part of anymore. That's another thing. We're entering this era where people don't even want to be a part of that type of consumerism where they just buy shit immediately. People want the story. They want the background before they buy things. And people don't get that, right? So my favorite analogy when it comes to identities and characters with consumers are movies. I love movies. I am a film buff. Definitely. I fucking love film. When you watch a movie, they give you an identity in the beginning to follow a character, if you want to call it that, an identity, a character to follow for 2 hours. Or maybe 90 minutes if you can't watch a movie for 2 hours. When they give you that character and that identity, they're making you either love them, hate them, envy them, all these things. For 2 hours, they're doing that to you. And at the end, you will feel like you won, y'all won, or y'all lost. My favorite example is Leonardo DiCaprio in The Wolf of Wall Street. Everybody, when they watch that movie, they want to be the wolf. They want to be Leonardo DiCaprio. They take us through all of his journey. And at the end, you want to get up and do something similar to him. Why is that? The whole entire movie is to show you how to go. It's basically like a how-to. You want to be like the wolf? This is what you need. This is what you go through. And at the end, you pick. Are you the wolf or you're not? That's why at the end of the movie, he's at the conference and he's fucking giving to the audience how to sell me this pin. Literally showed you how to be him. And at the end, he's asking you, do you want to be him or not? Show me how to sell this pin. The Social Network, Jesse Einsberg playing Mark Zuckerberg, right? Same thing. He takes you through the journey of him creating Facebook. At the end, I think it's at the end, or in the kind of near the end, he shows his card. I'm CEO, bitch. That is taking you through the identity, making you understand their mannerisms, making you understand their interests, and making you feel like you are them. I had this microphone backwards the whole entire time. But like I was saying, brand owners, when they see like they're not getting enough consumers or they're not getting enough followers, sales, all those things, they always think I have to build a better product or I have to go on more photo shoots. I have to find more influencers. I have to post more content that is product based and all these things. When the key is here, if you just step back, actually stop trying to make more clothes and try to build your clothes from a character aspect, I feel like my clothes are a costume to this new character that they're trying to become. Your brand is a costume for the consumer. The costume makes the fucking human, the costume makes the fucking consumer become what? The character. Oh my gosh, fucking rocket science. And as we know, when you put a costume on, when you get a character for a script, if you do not have the mannerisms, the speech, all of those things, it's the character does not come to life. So is it the clothes? No. The costume just puts them in the mindset of understanding that I have to lock in and become this character. The clothes don't even do it. They have to become it in order for the clothes to even make sense. That is the key there. That's where everyone is lacking. That's the idea of this shit. And it's not just with clothes, it's with products too. Like, speaking of costumes, right? Today's video is going to be sponsored by myself. So I am doing a Cyber Monday or like a Black Friday thing, and I kind of just wanted to interrupt the video and talk about it for a second. The thing about brand therapy, it's basically to make you so irritated and flustered to the point you're like, I don't think I really want a brand anymore. And I do that because I typically understand what it takes to get consumers to understand where you're coming from and get that messaging out of you. And I decided I'm going to do my consumer disconnect, which gets you in the mindset of understanding why your consumer is a character and your clothes are basically just like costume clothes. I'm adding a 25-minute call to it as well. That 25-minute call, we're going to just chat shit about what's the disconnect there. But yeah, I just wanted to explain that to you. And yeah, video sponsored by me, I guess. Food products, all of these things. You want to be a good chef? Okay, you could put the apron on, but you have to know the fundamentals of cooking. You have to get the right products, right? The right products won't even fucking save you. The food is still nasty because you have to understand how to cook the character. Basketball players, you could give me a fucking basketball. You could fucking put me in a whole basketball outfit. I could go out and play basketball and it won't work because I don't know how to play it. I don't know the back end of understanding it. So that's where clothing brand owners are lacking. That's the lack. I could sit in a fucking movie director chair. It could say the director all at once. If I can't, get a set to fucking follow directions, I'm not a movie director. I just got a title. I just have the costume. And that is the key in brand therapy that I'm trying to get out of everybody. And it's working. And identity survives when it keeps giving the consumer a role to play. It's not about the costume. It's about the fucking character. Most brands stop at the initial feeling. But identity only sticks when the consumer can keep becoming something inside your world. The role evolves with them. The role evolves with them. You heard that one? The role evolves with them. The emotional payoff keeps renewing. The world expands just enough to feel alive. The taste stays consistent, so they never lose orientation. The story has layers they can grow into. Identity becomes lifestyle, becomes habit, becomes self-definition. This is why brands last decades. That right there, I just explained it. It's not the fucking costume, it's the character. Long-lasting identity starts with ritual, reward, recognition, renewal. I've said this before in a video. Screenshot it. I'll move out the way so you can. Literally screenshot it, right? So when I tell people to understand their consumer and I have them writing out who their consumer is from top to bottom, sometimes they think like, I'm not supposed to post content like this. No, it's low-key just for you as a brand owner. For you to understand the word bank of some sort. How can I say this? It's only for you as the brand owner to understand what your next product should look like. What's the next content strategy? What's the next collectible product I should create? You use this information to shape the world, guide the identity, and build the story your consumer steps into. The knowledge is not for aesthetics. It is not for engagement. It's not for public display. It's for your clarity, your decisions, your positioning, your messaging, your power, right? Understanding the consumer, you're not going to tell the consumer, the interests that you have are this. You show them, right? You show them visually. When you study their interests, their desires, their emotional itch, it's so you can control and give the direction to the next aspect of your brand. This is what brand owners are supposed to be good at. I believe brand owners, when they make clothes, they should know exactly why they are making the clothes. I feel like the why is way more important than actually even designing the shit. Alexander McQueen, he has this great quote, and he says, I want to make clothes for the woman people are scared of. So brand therapy is about that. When you understand your consumer privately, you can influence them publicly. Really just a mix of the consumer disconnect that I dropped, and I'm going to add a 25-minute call. It's going to be a phone call like this, something that a lot of people don't do anymore, and we're going to basically just yap about what you're doing wrong on your socials, who your consumer is, your character is. That's what I'm going to be doing for Cyber Monday. I hope you're having a good end to your Thanksgiving, and I'll see you guys this week.